So 6 months ago, I woke up and found out that one of my favourite artists was coming to the UK. Not only that, his tickets were already on sale. Yeah, I got to the Ticketmaster page and saw they were already sold out, so I decided to do something I was pretty certain I would never do. I bought tickets on Viagogo, then booked trains and a hotel, and just prayed that they would be real. So, while travelling, let's get into that. We're going down to London for this concert. It's in the same place I saw Sonic Symphony last year, so hooray to that. Now, I'm seeing Kenshi Yonezu. You may know him as the person whose song we built in our Minecraft hardcore world, but he's one of my favourite musicians of all time. I've been listening to this guy for 6 years, some of my most played songs ever by him. There was no way that I wasn't not gonna go, so I just had to, hope my Viagogo tickets were real. Now, I did have a pleasant surprise along the way. I found out that whilst I was in row P, the venue I was in didn't have a row I or a row O, which meant I was actually 2 rows forward than I thought it was. Now, there's not all too much to ramble on about for this trip, it is just the standard one down to London, but I decided to spice things up. See, I found out in Preston Station there is what I'm going to dub the Magic Death Tunnel for people who just can't use the stairs. And I think it needs to be seen to be believed. Yeah, so this is the murder tunnel I told you about. It is, and it's what it says. It's Preston Murder Tunnel. Because why not? Like I'm not being funny. What is that? Yeah, apparently they used to use that thing in World War II, and believe me, it shows. That place is eerie, but I kind of love it at the same time. So after a quick change at Preston, it was the big long train down to London now, and honestly, the entire time my nerves were flared up. The Wi-Fi on the train wasn't good, and I was looking out for when I would get my tickets. See, they released them on the day of the event for some psychotic reason, so I wouldn't be able to actually see if I was going to be given a ticket until they were released, which meant there was a very small window of a few hours where I could have got them. But thankfully, my tickets came through. Whilst I was waiting though, I did film this TikTok, which I think is pretty funny. Now see, the thing is that originally I bought a different set of tickets and then later relisted them on Viagogo when I got better tickets. So imagine my surprise when Viagogo sent me a link to access the tickets I'd already sold on, like okay. I did get my actual tickets though, and to say the website looked sketchy would be an understatement, because it literally didn't exist before like 2 weeks prior to the event. So I was slightly nerved out, and as I'm trying to navigate London now off the train getting the tube to Hammersmith, I got the most reassuring reply I could have got from customer support conceivable. I mean, doesn't that just fill you with confidence? My hotel is booked, I'm already on the train, I kind of want to make sure I get into the concert, and while they do have a guarantee, there's no guarantee that if I get denied at the door, I'll get those replacement tickets before the show starts. Not to mention, I wanted the merch. I'll flash it on screen and yeah, no, I needed this. This was fundamentally one of those things where I was going to ball, so I had to make sure that my ticket worked so I could get in early and get some merch. Now, despite the apparent stress aside, I was still having fun, and I think that's important to know. I was listening to his bangers to warm me up before the show, I was hyped. There was just one thing I had to do. Get to the hotel, which was only a few stops away now, check in, and make sure I could freshen up so I looked as presentable as possible for this concert. Oh, yeah, so I was waiting for somebody coming with me, so there's 2 beds, but I'm not going to complain, because I believe there is a complimentary minibar, not that it's filled, but yeah, it's nice, it's swanky, so I'm going to do the plan, well, why, that was awful. I'm going to shower, I'm going to shave, I'm going to try to film whilst I'm there, hopefully it gets high enough level. There's no recording in the concert, so don't need to worry about having to point to film, because I can. If I do, I get kicked out, so more of that. I mean, I'm not gonna shave for presentable conditioner, the huge, and then we're gonna hit a big city, get some tea, and then I need to be in that merch queue early, because I'm like 50% certain the ticket I have is real, so if it's fake, oh boy, I need to get on that Viagogo customer support line immediately. So yeah, through the doors at 7, into the merch queue is the plan. They also don't allow this, not the Ryuji shirt back, so I will be hardballing all of my merch, unless they give you back at the kiosk, which they might. I don't know. We'll see. We'll make it up as we go along. So yeah, see you after the shower. Ooh. Okay, so it's just gone 5:30, which means the concert starts doors open, in an hour and a half, and then the concert starts at 8:15, so we have about 2 hours, 45 minutes until the concert starts, which is fairly way. So the plan is now, also, as I've shaved, hooray, I look presentable. I don't look too bad, I'm just gonna hope my skin clears up afterwards, because for some reason London's tap water made me, red. But it's fine, I didn't think myself, so that's cool. But yes, the plan is, get food. It's probably going to be McDonald's, KFC, or Popeyes. Also, hotel needed a 50 quid deposit, which is okay, fam. Okay. Which does eat into the merch budget a little bit. So, whilst I'm having tea, I may be doing surveys on Prolific to just make sure I can get everything I want. There's some stuff I can drop if I don't have all the money in the world. Plus, I'm kind of just
estimating the prices in my head. I imagine they're going to be more expensive than just the yen conversions. But yeah, I'll throw in all the stuff I want from the merch store now, and then how much is in yen compared to pounds. And I'm just going to see what the increase is at the actual store, because I imagine I'm probably going to get fleeced. So there's that. But let's go have tea. I need to be in the queue early, because then if my sketchy Viagogo tickets don't work, I can jump their customer support and get a replacement ticket, which has to be as good or better than my current seat, which means it's row P or further ahead. And oh, I want them to work, but if they don't work and then they stick me in like row C, I'm not going to complain. But I don't want to risk it because I really want to be at the concert, so see you in a minute.
So after realising there's a Popeyes around the corner, I decided to walk on over, and I took the route that took me past the actual venue so I could get some photos before the sun went down too much. I took a selfie, some stuff of the outside before going to get my food, and decided to post some out on Twitter because why not, and I had a delicious Popeyes meal. It was very nice, it was very tasty, and I made sure to finish it nice and quick so I could start queuing as soon as possible. Again, if my ticket did work, I wanted to be as far up in the queue as I could be to make sure I got merch, because I've been to the Apollo before and how they handle merch is usually a little less than orderly. So yeah, I just kind of stood in the queue, like, you could really feel the excitement building. Well, I did kind of use my phone a bit, like, soaking the atmosphere there was just, mwah, it was so good. But I did notice one thing when I was speaking on my phone, and that's that there had apparently been merch on sale at about 3 o'clock that afternoon, and namely that during that time they had sold out of the cat plushes that I want, which meant, on the one hand, I was going to save £35, on the other hand, damn it, I really wanted one. But that didn't let me get it down. The atmosphere was still insane. Everybody was so excited to be there. But yeah, eventually the queue started moving, we headed towards the entrance, and back to back, probably the two most stressful things of the day then happened. I got to the door, straight through. And then the other thing was the merch. Yeah, it was about as free-for-all as I expected, so not only did I get there and realise just how much more expensive the prices were than in my head, but it was just kind of a crush. You can kind of see in the photo I took of the prices, everybody's huddled around the counter, and I just got quite lucky with spaces opening up between me so I could shuffle my way there and get served. And then, boy did I get served. I basically got everything on that chart from before, barring that thing in the bottom right that sold out, the cat, and then the red pair of socks, though I did resolve myself to say, okay, I will come back and get them if I super enjoy the show and they're left afterwards, because, you know, I think 2 days from when the concert was the start of the month, and yeah, your boy has subscriptions he has to pay.
I'm in the concert now, and I'm like freaking out, but like they don't even hold for the concert, so I'm just gonna send a voice note, and it's like, see you in a bit.
Again, I kind of wish I had more to show you guys, but they were really strict on recording. I know that's the thing in Japanese concerts, but to be the UK concert where they were strict on recording is like, oh, am I back in like the 1990s? Like, it was weird, but I appreciated it because it meant the concert would be less distracting. But it meant that even before or after the show, you were prohibited from taking photos or videos. So I didn't even have really any like photos of just the venue before it started. But, you know, I sat down, I found my seat, and I thought, right, I've got some time. Let's A, tweet out these merch prices, and B, let's go get dressed into my merch. So I wander off to the bathrooms, and I get swapped out of my shirt into my tall t-shirt that I buy. I don't put the socks on because I'm not risking that in a London bathroom, as that feels like just a cause for disaster. But I then slip on my jumpsuit as well, so I feel dripped out. Take another selfie, post that to Twitter, and I go sit down in my seat and just kind of eagerly await it to start. And again, the anticipation is crazy. But yeah, I do notice a lot of my tweets start getting traction, and I start getting people in Japanese responding to my stuff, or like different languages as well, either talking about the merch prices, or just asking if it's my first time seeing him, etc, etc. And it was super nice, like my first proper interaction with Kenshi Yonezu's fan community, and it's like, hell yeah, you guys all rock, thank you. It's surreal to see a selfie of myself get 1.7 thousand likes, but hey, I'm gonna imagine it's because they all think I looked nice. Anyway, so the actual show. It genuinely was so great. It was cool. I've been listening to this guy's music for 6 years, so to actually be able to hear some of these songs live, and not just from his most recent album, though that is where most of the tracks were from, but from some of the older ones too, it was just super nice to hear. I know people went wild when Flamingo was played because a lot of us were quite convinced that a different set list was going to be played. Most notably, one of his oldest album tracks, which is still quite popular, Melancholy Kitchen, wasn't played, and I clocked that, and then Flamingo later came on and I realised he'd swapped a few out, especially because Flamingo is one of his biggest hitting songs in terms of views. I just thought that was pretty cool. But it's great though, the staging was super cool. If there was a music video for a song, then it would be really lovingly inspired by the visuals and the vibe of that song. It's like Lady is blue skies and the little white markings on the road. Camden's kind of a party theme with a garage and like a lot of bright oranges and stuff like that. And Kickback's just red, which is fair enough. But that did lead me to being interested in what the album track staging would look like, because I have a lot of album tracks by him that I really like and kind of wish got a music video. So I wanted to see what the staging for them would be like, to kind of give a glimpse into what a music video could have looked like if they hypothetically ever got one. And I wasn't left too disappointed. Stop Look Both Ways is off his most recent album, and that felt probably the weakest of all the sets. It was primarily just black with a few trains and then like kind of a train warning light, which makes sense because that's what the song starts with, but it just felt like there could have been a little bit more. But literally every other staging was great. If there was an animation for a song, he's done like an animation for say a few Studio Ghibli films. The music video or some footage from the film will play behind him for that. Or again, it'd be like a loving recreation of his music video in the visuals. But I think my favourite one was Daydream, again another one off his new album. Really should have been a single, but I wanted to see how that one was because it's a very surrealist song. It makes you feel like you're in an aquarium or a planetarium, sort of surreal, sort of melancholic-ish, but also hopeful at the same time. I wasn't left disappointed. The staging was just kind of two dancers dancing with each other interpretively, whilst the camera panned across a cityscape whilst the sun slowly rose. It was just really nice and pleasant to see. Of course, more effort was put into the actual songs released as singles, but I wasn't left disappointed by the few glimpses I got into what could have been for singles as well. But the vibe was super cool as well. Like, everybody was chanting along. Some of my favourite moments when we were doing the, Darok, Mariah, A Beautiful Star, and Kickback, singing Lady, and, the chorus to Lady, or doing the O's and P's side. Like, when everybody was singing along together, those were the best moments. I think we kind of split down the middle, really, because there were definitely some British people there, but a lot of people had flown in to see the concert too. So the concert etiquettes kind of melded together, though we eventually kind of settled on the Japanese etiquettes. So whereas, say, last year I was at a concert where everybody stood up even during the sad songs, this time we sat down and only really stood up for the energetic songs, all when singing too. Even some of my lesser favourite tracks off his newer album I still really liked hearing live. A Post-Team especially is just not my type of song, but to hear it performed live with how intense the vocals are in that regardless was just super cool. But I do only have really one criticism, and that's that for his first overseas show, I wish he had swapped some of the album tracks. I know he's promoting his new album, but I wish he'd swapped some of his album tracks for more singles. Two in particular come to mind. Shunrai off his album Bootleg has 200, 300 million views on his channel. It's one of his most well-known and beloved songs by the fandom, so I was kind of wishing that'd be there. They also do have staging for it from other shows. And the other one is Shinigami. Not as big over here, but I still like it. It is off his newest album, and it is massive in Japan. It's one of those songs which most VTubers just kind of cover if they want to show off how good of a singer they are. It's really good, and I kind of wish that was performed too. But I can't complain, because I still got 24 very good songs of content throughout the concert. The issue is this guy is a hit-making machine. And unfortunately, when you've got that many hits, it's hard to fit them all in alongside some of the newer stuff. Though that said, he did say in part of his MC sections, which I did later have to look at the translation to because they didn't give him an interpreter, that he would be back. And he did recount a few odd tales, he said he'd been to the UK to see Manchester City before, and that he went to Norfolk last year just for kind of leisure, bought a guitar and then lost it on the airline on the way back, which did get a chuckle out of me. I will say, though, as somebody who was brought up to be a Manchester United fan, but then ended up being disinterested in football, really? Manchester City? I'm not even a fan of the sport, and he could have done better. I think all in all, those 24 songs, and 3 of those were on an encore. It was about 10 minutes from when the first block of songs ended, and then he came out for the encore. And pretty much the entire time we were chanting, whooping, clapping our hands. It was very cool. And when he did come back out, he played some of his most recent stuff, Bow and Arrow, Plasma, and it just hit. It was basically non-stop action for 2 and a bit hours, and I loved every second of it. I know how much this concert cost for me to go to, but should he have ever came back to the UK, I would happily go back in a heartbeat. That said, I may have the chance to, because I became under the impression during my trip that they were possibly taping the performance. So, I went and tweeted that out, and it kind of went parabolic, but I think that it would make sense. It's his first non-Asian concert ever, so of course you'd want to tape that for the memory and possibly sell it back as a DVD, and it was just so special. Again, I don't think I can truly put it into words unless you have a similar musician that you feel passionately about, but at the same time you feel is just kind of very obscure. Because I've met 0 people in person who have also listened to this guy. So to be in a room with 5,000 of them was insane, as it was just extremely validating.
Okay, so first things first. Second thing, I don't know if there's a pub everyone that was there is going to, but I'm going to maybe get dressed out of this on account of Yeah, I think Boil Suit's going pubs. But that was really good, and I'm underselling it because I forgot to take my phone out because I had it inside of my coveralls. So, I mean, it's impressive if anything, yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I may hit a bar, I may not hit a bar. We'll figure it out. I am, however, going to go back to the hotel room and freak out for at least like 5 minutes. So, I'd say it was a good concert. I couldn't understand this in between bits though, so I'm going to ask somebody to translate what he was saying because I don't know what they were. Right, see you in a bit.
So here I am in the fit, in the fresh. Oh, it's actually well lit as well. Check it out. There's the hang on. There's the back. Let's call that off. I legitimately want to warm up the one who has in the lady music video while the lyrics like lady. Lose my mind, genuinely.
Sorry, picking up the camera again to just reiterate that I saw Kenshi Yonezu live. Also, I have a wristband on my arm. Isn't that grand? I know I also want to buy one. Neither the stickers that I also have somewhere around here. But I do. I have them.
You know, say retail therapy doesn't work. Comment. It does, just in the right circumstances. Anyway, don't worry. I'm not stripping on camera. I'm just trying to get the jumpsuit off, which now I'm discovering, despite me getting a size 1 above mine, because you know I anticipate I will grow to 8 foot by the time I'm dead. Sorry about that. I'll go and try to position you. There's the shirt. I'm just going to wiggle this off. It's like, yes, this is the content you all signed up for. But, oh, the towel! Oh, the towel. This was around my neck the entire time. So I need to take photos for Instagram now. Because if we take photos for Instagram, if I didn't go to the concert. That's the rule. But, oh, no, I keep putting in the cards. I know. I think if I go like this, I'm wearing this backwards. Thank God that suit was zipped up the entire time. It's still a big design though, you gotta admit. Anyway, random. Let's take photos for Instagram and then we'll see. We'll suss out the immediate area.
Well, like I said I was gonna go out, but I'll be honest. Yeah, I have £1.60 left in my bank. Would I like to go drinking with a load of Kenshi Yonezu fans? Yes. But I forgot to mention, I was like scoping out the nearby Wetherspoons. Literally nobody was going in there, everybody was going straight home, so. Unless there's a complete bender going on in the hotel bar here, which I missed on the way in, I don't think it's happening. However, let this be a promise. If he says he'll be, well, he said he'll be back, so if he does come back, please, if you're watching this and a Kenshi Yonezu fan, let's get drinks, please, let's go have. I had such a great plan to do shots, so much to the point I'm gonna do it next time I'm at work and nobody's in. And I'm in as a customer. So I'm thinking, right, okay, look, we do Red Out, Cherry Showers, Yellow Ghost inspired shot, Banana Sambuca, Peace Sign inspired shot, Blue Cactus Jets. You see what I mean? We do the whole rainbow of Kenshi Yonezu inspired clothes, Candom themed shots, something orange gin, or something else orange. You see what I mean? Like, there is potential in that. 10 likes, 10 likes, 10 likes, I will film myself in my kitchen doing a Kenshi Yonezu shot circuit. See the remains of the photo shoot as well. Like that towel's never gonna get used. Also, I forgot to show off this. It's my wristband, just a lost corner, but yeah, so that's all there was. Again, I only got 1 pair of socks. I could have got 2. I just decided not to be greedy. Always a chance for the online store, in which case I will get the Red Out version of these, along with the Nekomata Charm Plus, which sold out because they opened merch early. And then again, here's the t-shirt. I'm sure I showed it. I was wearing it back to front, and these are these stickers as well. So one that's more donut hole themed, one's more general themed. Again, at least I got something with the cat on. I respect it, and I'll show you guys the other end of that too. There's nothing really going on with the boiler suit being missing, but this is the front design. A Kenshi Yonezu junk, and I'll say it to death, that was genuinely like one of the best nights of my life. I wish I could take photos or like videos, but I understand why. But you'll have to take my word on it. But when I realised he'd swapped out Melancholy Kitchen for Flamingo, oh, the noise I made was inhuman and full of varying emotions. Would have liked to hear that, to be honest, but I understand why he would have swapped it out for England of all places. So, yeah. The complimentary menu are empty. Complimentary coffee has been used. Issue is, you see these ones quite blatantly labeled decaf. Can you guess who didn't realise they were there until he'd had one that was full calf? This guy. Also, sad music playing in American Dad's really timing in. Thank you. Thank you, Fox. That's all you get to see. So yeah, see you in the morning. Or in 2 hours, depending on how much that coffee hits me.
So the next morning it was time to head home. Or was it?
See, like, I paid to come to London, I kind of wanted to get my London experience, so I decided with the very limited amount of money left in my bank account to go for a little day trip around London, try and get some souvenirs, visit some nerd shops. So that is exactly what I did. I immediately headed to the centre to visit some like figure shops, some nerd shops, some anime shops, just to see if there was anything that would super interest me, and it was super cool. There is nothing like that near me, and it was geek paradise. I would have spent a lot in that, again, if I wasn't running with like 30 quid in my bank. But no, it was cool to be in there. I visited the Bandai Namco official store as well. I'm gonna have to hop around on the tube a little bit too, but I did do some sightseeing. You know, Big Ben was near where I went to those first block of shops, so I decided to wander there too, only to realise I was in the middle of the West End, so I passed, you know, cinemas with stuff displaying the fact like there was a missed out Fire musical, or I passed one where Matilda's residenced and Back to the Future's residenced, super cool. And yeah, I kind of wandered through, walked past some monuments I'm sure are famous but I could not name for the life of me, even walked past Westminster, didn't get to Milkshake Nigel, I'll get it next time, I promise.
We're here in Westminster-ish. Look at all the culture. Got a cabinet office. Don't know why they need it for filing cabinets, for sure. There's like some statues. And Downing Street is somewhere here. If I had a milkshake and saw Nigel Farage, you'd be getting it, by the way, just for the record. Always state your intentions, especially if it's milkshaking racist. And I think down there behind that booth is Downing Street. That's kind of cool. And that's half the London Eye. Okay, this is actually pretty cool, because last time I was here was like when I was 10. It's like, yo.
But yeah, I saw Big Ben. It's like the second time I've seen it in person, walked across like the bridge, saw the London Eye. The weather was super nice though. Of course, I was diligent that my phone would get nicked out of my hand at any point, because, you know, I do have some level of awareness whilst in London. But it was a really pleasant time. I enjoyed it, and the atmosphere was just super cool. And I was keeping an eye out, because despite being in central London, I was hoping I would at least run into like one Kenshi Yonezu fan. I enjoyed the night I had last night, yapping and hanging out with those guys, but I was hoping I could at least run into one more to extend the concert experience just a little bit.
So it's actually like rather warm, just casual Big Ben backing as it is. So I might go for a dip. But do we reckon if I went for a swim in there, I'd be able to like not die of pollution? It's brown! I think that's like the Houses of Parliament. I know about my country. Yeah. Seriously though, I need a Pepsi Max, like it's so warm, I have no idea. Like I would go for a swim. And that Lake is river is the colour of Pepsi Max. However, I don't think it would taste as good, and even worse, it probably doesn't even contain aspartame. So what's the point? Yeah. Thought it was gonna bong then, when it was, I just missed it. I'll get you next time, Big Ben.
But yeah, I think I eventually meandered around, I don't know exactly where, but I ended up near where I went to see Cupcake in a previous vlog. And yeah, I visited the kind of markets there. So I went to, again, Bandai's official store, and then a lot of smaller independent places. And I ended up buying two things. One was a little figurine of Pochita from Chainsaw Man. Again, Kenshi does the theme for Chainsaw Man, so it kind of made sense, plus it's a very good TV show in all fairness too. And then the other thing I got, I walked into a shop, they had Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black's Funko Pop figure that also glows in the dark, and it's like, colour me sold, please and thank you. Even in the shops where I wasn't buying anything, it was still cool just to be in a nerd shop. Again, I'm from the north of England and not in a major city really, so it's like kind of cool to see places where my interests are actually on shelves. Again, sort of validating, but also just like a really cool vibe to hang out in. Like, yes, we are all nerds about the same stuff. One shop even had like episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen playing on a TV, which was like, okay, I see you. I had that value out of that Crunchyroll membership. And of course, as you can imagine, the soundtrack to my entire day was Kenshi Yonezu's discography. Stuff that I heard last night and the stuff that I kind of wished I had heard last night. It was just super cool to be around in London. We even stopped off. I was rushing to get a train because I had to wait an hour for the next one. I had to stop off on a Wendy's on the way over to go ahead and get myself a Frosty. Had one last time, was super cool. Got a limited edition raspberry one today and then kind of had to eat it awkwardly as I went off to the station.
Walked back to Euston Station to save some money, and if you recognise this place, you're a legend. Is this where we saw Cupcake? Like, I feel like I'm out of bounds here. This isn't somewhere I'm meant to be. I just kind of wandered past it. Like, I forgot it was within walking distance of the station. I'm just happening to come down the big road to the station that's on. That's weird though. It's a good one though, you should watch it. But yeah, very weird to be back here, but cool at the same time. Means that Wendy's was the one I went to last time I was here, which is like, oh yeah, go on. Okay, so the train is in 20 minutes, and the station is allegedly a 13-minute walk away. However, I don't think Google Maps realizes that I am British. Like, as a known fact, British people quickly, you should have seen me in New York City. It was insane. So yeah, I'm kind of power walking with a dream because I kind of want to get there a little bit early. So obviously, even if I'm walking at the speed Google Maps thinks I go at, which is like, I'm pretty sure they think I'm, oh my god. Sorry, the Kenshi Yonezu fan in my brain took over for a second there. Point stands, I should be able to make, I just want to get there early-ish. Because I have an upper it means I don't have a reserve seat like I did last time. So I'm just going to kind of cross my fingers and hope I get there early enough to where there is at least still a few going. In terms of sustenance, I have Pepsi Max, a Dream, some headphones, a charger, and whatever retail therapy is going for my body, which is a lot. But the iPhone camera is doing an awfully good job at looking nice today. What? This thing's meant to be like bad. This phone is 6 shit. Enough yapping about my phone. Here's a bit more of, oh, I'm still zoomed in. Here's a bit more of London. But yeah, I'm stop yapping now and get to the station on time because I would quite like to sit down for the next 3 hours, ideally.
But no, eventually I got on the train, sat down, and it was basically the same trip in reverse. Very paranoid that I would lose my bag with all of my merch crammed into it, or possibly the plastic bomb with the stuff I'd bought that day, but luckily didn't happen. And yeah, it was a pleasant enough ride home. I just couldn't sleep though. I was listening to music, I felt like physically tired, but I just did not sleep. You know, I was on Twitter, I was on Reddit, I was getting like so many replies on my posts that had gone mental in like Japanese and stuff and responding to them. So as much as I wanted to sleep, I couldn't, and it was like, Like, I'm not sure if any of you know exactly what I mean, but it's like after you do something super cool or go to a concert, you kind of have like this sort of afterglow where you just feel good non-stop for ages, and that was me. Especially compared to just wandering around London having a good time, I was in such high spirits. And yeah, that kind of does start to bring us towards the end of this. Again, I really do sincerely hope he comes back to the UK sooner. If he does multiple tour dates, I'll be at multiple tour dates. You know, he does have a song called Sayonara, I'll See You in 100 Years. So I do hope that when he said I'll see you in a few years, he meant less than 100 ideally. But yeah, no, seriously, I would love to go to different places around the country, follow him around. There were some people at the concert that did in fact follow him around, like, for every single stop on the tour, which is like, okay, how rich are you? Let's go to karaoke. Yeah, they were nice, really. But like, I would happily do the same just for his UK tour if he went to visit multiple cities in the future. Seriously, it was such a special concert. I would kill if he came back again to actually try and get first row seats. It was so good. Again, even if you don't know who the guy is, hopefully you enjoy the little ranting rambles about the trip and stuff. And hey, maybe the backing music, all of which has been instrumentals of his songs, barring the beginning, maybe that's convinced you to get into and listen to him. I wouldn't know. But yeah, as we roll back with my bottle of Pepsi Max in my bag from the meal deal I bought earlier for my breakfast, I just kind of felt really like full of warmth, you know what I mean? It was one of those trips where I left and it was like, yeah, I spent an F ton of money, but you know what? I think it was worth it.
And that's it. I had a lot of fun. Coming into the room, he's back. It's probably a bit of a mess, but check out Jazzer. It's good to be back! Yeah, I didn't expect to actually end that one there, but I figured, you know, I'll fake you out with a fake ending. Ignore my made bed. It was made 10 seconds ago and then I collapsed onto it, so... Yeah, that was fun. You know, it's like, yeah, I got one of these. I'm very happy. I'm very excited. It's like, check again the back. It's can I get some like mirroring action on that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can. Yes! I'm so hyped, I'm so happy. I got some other stuff from shopping as well, which I will quickly show you. Namely, I got a Pochita plush, and then I got Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black to go with Zamasosito and other Zamasosito. So, yeah. Holy fuck. That's my tea. I'm gonna eat that now, but I'm gonna take this off first, so I'm not risking it. That said, if, let it be known, if I ever find a karaoke place with a lady on it, me and my friends, we're gonna go, and I'm gonna read it up. But thanks for watching this. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm sure all likes, comments, and subscribes, as usual, will be even more appreciated than usual. Thank you to everybody who's watching this from my Twitter. I'm sure I failed to edit the voiceover, but no idea what happened over there. But yeah, my tea's getting cold, so I'm gonna go now. Bye. But Jezza says bye too.